I'm just starting to get this Volvo Penta SX drive ready to put back on the boat. So I had to take all the paint off the leg and redo it, unfortunately. And just wanted to show that this particular drive has got Zerk fittings on the universal joints, which is very nice. So I'm just in the process of putting some grease in those, and fortunately this thing is just tight as a drum. There's no slack in those universal joints at all. So I was lucky there, because I believe that this is the very first time that the bellows have been replaced. The guy that's owned it for the last 25 years told me that he'd never taken the outdrive off. So when I did, of course, I found the flapper valves, or flapper exhaust valves, wedged into the exhaust ports, which is why he couldn't take it above about 2,000 RPM, but he was happy to do that. So it's not much been done to not much stress been put on this engine. Anyway, so the only reason I'm doing this is because I don't see anybody talking about these different bellows. So this is the new Volvo Penta drive bellows, and it's quite a bit different than the old one. There's the old one there. It's just full of grease. The guy that owned it before me really maintained it. Apart from taking the drive off, he put a ton of grease in there, so the gimbal bearing itself is just smooth as silk still, and I believe it's the original one. And the fact that this boat hasn't been in the water very much, I guess that's why this bellows is still intact. There's nothing wrong with that bellows, but not even any cracks in it. Anyways, I got a new one, but the new one is about 1/4 of an inch narrower at the widest point. It doesn't have a asymmetrical, like 6 ribs on one side, 7 on the other, which this one does have, the old style did. This one's just, I think it's just 6 ribs, and it's symmetrical. And the only rubber part is the top flange and the bottom flange. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it'll go on. I have no plans to take the pivot housing off. Doesn't look like much fun from what I've seen from other guys doing this online. So I'm going to try and get this thing in there without taking that pivot housing off. Yeah, the exhaust bellows. I really didn't need to replace the exhaust bellows, but I just figured since I've got the thing off, I may as well put a new one on. Have a spare, I guess, if the 20 years from now the exhaust bellows fails. But yeah, they say this new one is supposed to last, I think they said 5 years between replacements, whereas the old one, I think you're supposed to go 2 years between replacing it. So yeah, like I say, probably 30 years or more that's on the original, these two bellows. So I'm going to go the adhesive route here. You can get these kits online, and just showing for somebody else that's doing this. Yeah, this is an M series, so the SXM, and so the clip, you got to pay attention to where the clips are when you take them off. They weren't hard to get off, but you just got to pay attention to where the clips are. The clip that's on the drive bellows was about at the 1 o'clock position, and it was, a little bit of a challenge to get in there. There's some guys that are showing you how to do it with an extension and universal on the end of a socket wrench. You can get in there, and you just have to be careful that you get the clips back on, the grounding clips back on when you put the thing in. So we'll see if I can get this thing in here just by compressing this. I'm not sure it's going to go that well. The other one's way more pliable. So we'll give it a try. So this is just for somebody else who finds themselves doing this and gets the new Volvo Penta OEM part that doesn't look anything like the original that they're taking off. All right, I'll post some more if I see anything worthwhile recording. I can't see any possible way of getting this new bellows in without taking the pivot housing off. So that's what I'm gonna have to do, unfortunately. So I'm just making a mental note of that trim indicator there before I take it off. And it takes a 1/2 inch Allen key with a breaker bar. I was able to get the other side broken free, so this one should be okay too. It wasn't too bad with that 1/2 inch hex. So that opens it up a lot more. There is a ground strap that's got to go right on that, right here. So don't forget to put that back on. And I think tomorrow I will try putting this new bellows on. Should be okay, I think. Now, so it wasn't this huge job to get that pivot housing off. I thought it was going to be way harder. Not too bad at all. So I'm just about to put this bellows back on, and you can see that this gimbal bearing's nice and smooth. I had to do a small wiring repair. The ground on the tilt indicator seemed to be broken. Those wires get crispy, so if you're doing this, you may want to just check those wires out. I've just got to put 2 little straps back on here just to hold that harness back. And you can see with the housing off to the side, you do get a lot more room to work. So I think that's the way to go. It's not that much effort to take those 2 pins out. All right, so I'm gonna put this thing on, clamp. So this clamp here has a little recess in the lip, and that's got to go at about a 1 o'clock position, so something like that. And then I'll put some adhesive on there and clamp it down. All right. Don't forget to put that strap on too. The bonding strap there has got to go underneath that clip, and it doesn't look like it's going to be that much fun to do, but I think I'll get it in position first and then go underneath and just stick it underneath and then tighten it up. Okay, so there's the bellows in place. I used the adhesive on there, and then you can get the clamp, oops, like that. So as long as you have this thing cranked over to the side, you can easily get access to it. Give it a good tightening. And anybody who says they can put these new bellows in without taking the pivot housing off, I have a hard time believing it. Just take the pivot housing off. It's way easier. That was not a pleasant job. What I found I had to do to get this thing in is take a paint mixing stick, get it under the edge, pry up, and then try and pull at the same time, and it was not easy to do. I couldn't do it without putting one of the pivot points back in, and I guess that's the way to do it. I just temporarily put the pivot bolts back in just so it would hold in position, so I had something to push against. So I finally got it in. I'm gonna have a cold beer, call it a night. That was this new bellows is not easy to put in. I wish I had the old one I wish they still had them because it's much easier to put in than this thing. Anyways, hopefully somebody else can benefit from this. So just putting the exhaust bellows on. I just took a pin and marked the bottom, and then marked where the clamp's supposed to go, so I can see it a little bit easier underneath. So I'm just going to push it up, the pivot housing up, and then hopefully this thing squeezes in. I've just got this thing wired up so that I get access to the exhaust, and hopefully it'll be very easy to put it in there. When it's in the up position, it's very easy to get access to that bonding clip, and the trick was to put some detergent, just dishwashing detergent, on the lip, and then put that grounding clip underneath it before. Whoops, there it is. And then I just align the pen marks down and the clip at the pen marks that I marked before, and it's good to go. So the both the bells went in pretty good. Just was going to mention, I took these boots off my other shift cable, a little higher quality. So the exhaust bellows just goes on dry at the front, dry at the back as well, just the clamp holding it on. Make sure you put the grounding clip on. And then this one here, I'm going to take this gimbal bellows, following the example of another poster on YouTube. Just pry it up a little bit, squeeze a little bit of adhesive in, go on to the next. So I hope that's going to make it watertight. I don't want to take any chances. Some guys say just leave it dry. Other guys are using some other kind of sealant. I'm just going to stick with the adhesive, and then try and wipe it off so it doesn't make a big mess. All right. And don't forget to torque this down to 105 to 120 foot-pounds. And then you got to put the ring back in the exhaust bellows groove right here. That should do it.